Have you ever asked yourself why, despite having talent, energy, and dreams, your life still feels uncertain? Why some people rise quietly from the smallest corners of the world while others, with far greater comfort and opportunity, remain stuck in doubt and fear? You wake up every morning with hope, yet by nightfall, confusion returns. Somewhere between expectations and reality, your confidence begins to fade, and you start believing a dangerous thought. Maybe success is only for a chosen few, not for someone like you. I want you to pause for a moment and listen with your heart. The greatest limitation in your life is not your background, not your marks, not your financial condition, and not even your failures. The greatest limitation is the belief that you are too small to make a difference. I have met thousands of young minds who carried this belief quietly, like a weight on their chest. Brilliant students, sincere dreamers, hardworking youth, all doubting their own worth because society taught them to measure success too narrowly. Let me tell you something I learned through my own journey. Life does not ask where you start. Life asks how deeply you are willing to commit to your purpose. When I look back at my early years, I do not see privilege or ease. I see uncertainty, simplicity, and a constant struggle between fear and faith. And yet, it was within that simplicity that the strongest foundations of success were laid. Today, I am speaking to you not as a scientist, not as a former president, and not as someone standing above you. I am speaking to you as a teacher who has walked through doubt, failure, discipline, and hope. I know what it feels like to come from a small town where dreams seem larger than the sky above it. I know what it feels like to wonder whether your efforts will ever matter. And I know what it takes to rise despite those questions. By the end of this journey together, I want you to feel something shift within you. I want you to walk away with clarity where confusion once lived, courage where fear once ruled, and discipline where excuses once waited. I want you to understand that success is not an accident, nor is it a gift reserved for a few. It is a result of living by certain principles, practiced quietly and consistently over time. You may have heard many speeches about success, many loud voices telling you to chase money, fame, or comparison. I will not do that. I want to talk to you about a deeper form of success, the kind that gives you peace at night and strength in the morning, the kind that allows you to respect yourself even when no one is watching, the kind that builds not just a career, but a meaningful life. I was born in Rameswaram, a small town surrounded by the sea and simplicity. My father was not a wealthy man. He was a man of integrity, discipline, and deep spiritual strength. From him, I learned that greatness does not require luxury. It requires character. Our home was modest, but it was rich in values. Every day, I observed how honesty, responsibility, and hard work formed the backbone of a fulfilled life. As a young boy, I sold newspapers to support my family. It was not a burden. It was a lesson. That phase taught me dignity of labor and the value of effort. While other children played, I learned to wake up early, to take responsibility, and to contribute. I did not realize it then, but those mornings shaped my relationship with discipline. They taught me that no work is small if it is done with sincerity. You see, success does not arrive suddenly one day. It is built quietly in moments no one applauds. In the early mornings, in repeated practice, in silent learning, and in choosing responsibility over comfort. Many young people wait for motivation. They wait for confidence. They wait for perfect condition. But life rewards those who act before they feel ready. When I entered the world of science and technology, I carried not arrogance but curiosity. I was not the smartest in every room, but I was always willing to learn. I learned that knowledge grows when ego disappears. And more importantly, I learned that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a teacher that appears when you are courageous enough to try. One of the most defining moments of my life came with the failure of the SLV-3 mission. Years of effort ended in disappointment. A nation watched. Expectations collapsed. At that moment, leadership revealed its true meaning. My leader took responsibility for the failure, protecting the team. When success came later, he stepped aside and allowed us to take credit. That single lesson taught me more about leadership than any book ever could. Leadership is not about position. It is about responsibility. Success is not about individual glory. It is about collective growth. And confidence is not built by avoiding failure, but by standing strong after facing it. Through my journey, whether writing my experiences in reflections on life or speaking to young minds across the nation, one truth remained constant. Young people are not lacking ability. They are lacking belief, direction, and disciplined effort. Once these three align, transformation becomes inevitable. I have always believed that a nation's future is shaped in classrooms, hostels, playgrounds, and small homes like yours. Your thoughts today are shaping the India of tomorrow. Your habits are writing the destiny of generations yet to come. This is not pressure. This is power. And power must be handled with responsibility. Success, in its truest form, follows certain rules, not shortcuts, not tricks, but principles that remain unchanged across time, profession, and circumstance. These rules guided my life, not consciously at first, but gradually through experience, reflection, and service. In the next part of our journey, I will share with you the first of these life-changing success rules, not as theory, but as lived truth. Rules that can guide you even when the path is unclear. Rules that do not require privilege, only commitment. Stay with me. Your future is listening. The first rule that shaped my life, quietly and powerfully, is this. You must learn to dream with purpose, not with escape. Many young people dream because they want to run away from their present struggles. They dream of success as a shelter from pain, poverty, or pressure. But dreams built on escape are fragile. The moment difficulty appears, those dreams begin to collapse. Purpose-driven dreams, however, grow stronger under pressure. When I was a student, my dreams were not grand because of imagination alone. They were rooted in service. I wanted to contribute to something larger than myself. I wanted my work to have meaning beyond personal comfort. That sense of purpose gave my dreams direction. Without direction, dreams remain wishes. With direction, they become goals that demand action. I learned early that dreaming is not sleeping. Dreaming is a disciplined state of mind. It requires clarity, patience, and courage. Many students tell me they have dreams, but they cannot explain them clearly. Vague dreams produce vague effort. Clear dreams demand clear discipline. You must ask yourself not just what you want to become, but why the world needs you to become it. In my journey through science and research, I often felt overwhelmed by complexity. There were moments when the equations felt heavier than my confidence. But purpose acted as an anchor. It reminded me why I started. It reminded me that temporary confusion does not cancel long-term vision. When your purpose is strong, confusion becomes part of learning, not a reason to quit. The second rule that changed everything for me is this. Discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Discipline stays like the sunrise. Every morning, regardless of how you feel, discipline shows up. In my life, discipline was not forced. It was cultivated slowly through routine, responsibility, and respect for time. As a newspaper boy, I learned punctuality. As a student, I learned consistency. As a scientist, I learned focus. These were not dramatic lessons. They were repetitive and sometimes boring. But success is built on the ability to do ordinary things extraordinarily well, day after day. There were days when I felt tired, unsure, or discouraged. Discipline carried me forward when motivation was silent. Many young people wait to feel inspired before they act. But action creates inspiration, not the other way around. When you act with discipline, confidence grows naturally. You begin to trust yourself. And self-trust is one of the strongest foundations of success. The third rule that shaped my understanding of success is this. Failure is not a verdict, it is feedback. Society teaches you to fear failure. It labels you by marks, results, and outcomes. But life does not work that way. Life is a laboratory. Every experiment teaches you something, even when it does not succeed. The SLV3 failure was painful not because of public attention, but because of internal disappointment. Yet that failure refined our systems, strengthened our teamwork, and deepened our resilience. The success that followed was not accidental. It was built on the lessons failure forced us to confront. When you fail, do not ask why you are not good enough. Ask what you can learn. Growth begins the moment ego ends. If you can develop a learning mindset, no failure can stop you. It can slow you down, but it cannot defeat you. The fourth rule that guided my life is often ignored in modern conversation. About success, simplicity and humility are strengths, not weaknesses. As responsibilities increased in my life, I made a conscious effort to remain grounded. Simplicity keeps your mind clear. Humility keeps your heart open. Together, they protect you from arrogance and distraction. True success does not need noise. It does not need constant validation. It speaks through impact. When you live simply, your focus sharpens. When you remain humble, learning never stops. And when learning never stops, growth becomes continuous. I have always believed that knowledge without character is dangerous, and character without knowledge is incomplete. You need both. Your education should sharpen your mind, but your values should guide your actions. This balance creates leaders, not just achievers. As I interacted with young minds across institutions and villages, one pattern became clear. The youth are full of potential, but they are often afraid of being ordinary. Let me tell you something important. Being ordinary in effort is dangerous. Being ordinary in background is irrelevant. Your background does not define your ceiling. Your habits do. You may come from a small town. You may study in an average college. You may not have connections or resources. None of this disqualifies you. What disqualifies you is the decision to stop trying, to stop learning, to stop believing in your ability to grow. In the next part, I will speak directly to your fears, your confusion, and your silent self-doubt. We will move from understanding success to living it. Stay with me. This journey is about to become personal. Now I want to speak to you directly, not as a teacher standing at a distance, but as someone sitting beside you, listening to the questions you rarely speak aloud. I know that many nights you lie awake wondering whether you are good enough. You look at others and feel that they are moving ahead while you remain where you started. You feel pressure from family, comparison from society, and confusion from within. Let me assure you, these feelings do not mean you are weak. They mean you are human. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It tells you that you care about your future. But when fear controls your decisions, it becomes a cage. Many students fear failure so deeply that they never attempt anything meaningful. They choose safety over growth, comfort over challenge. But a life built only on safety slowly suffocates the soul. I have met young people who were terrified of being average. They believed that unless they were extraordinary immediately, their life had no value. This belief is deeply harmful. Greatness is not born in a moment. It is shaped over years of effort that often looks ordinary from the outside. Do not rush your becoming. Do not insult your journey by comparing it with someone else's timeline. When I was growing, there were moments of deep self-doubt. Moments when I questioned whether my efforts would ever translate into results. But I learned an important truth. Confidence is not the absence of doubt. Confidence is the decision to move forward despite doubt. Every step you take while uncertain strengthens your inner courage. Many of you come from small backgrounds, places that do not appear on the map of opportunity. But remember this clearly. History is shaped not by privileged beginnings, but by determined minds. The size of your birthplace does not determine the size of your contribution. What matters is how deeply you believe in your responsibility to grow. Confusion about the future is natural, especially at your age. The world presents too many choices and too much noise. But clarity does not come from overthinking. Clarity comes from action. When you move forward with sincerity, even in small steps, the path begins to reveal itself. I want you to understand that success is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the best version of who you already are. Your strengths may be different. Your pace may be slower. Your path may be unconventional. None of this makes you less capable. There will be days when discipline feels heavy. Days when effort feels invisible. Days when results refuse to appear. On those days, remember this. Growth happens silently before it becomes visible. A seed grows underground long before it breaks the surface. Trust the process you cannot yet see. You are living in an age of distraction. Attention is constantly pulled away from purpose. Success today requires not more intelligence, but more focus. Guard your time. Respect your energy. Choose what you consume, mentally and emotionally, with care. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. I want to challenge a belief many students carry. You think you need confidence before you start. In reality, you need to start before confidence appears. Action is the doorway through which belief enters. Take responsibility for your effort, not the outcome. Outcomes are shaped by many forces, but effort is always within your control. Service must remain at the center of your ambition. When your goal includes the growth of others, your own growth accelerates. A life lived only for personal gain eventually feels empty. A life lived with contribution creates fulfillment that no achievement can replace. I often spoke about the power of ignited minds. An ignited mind is curious, disciplined, ethical, and fearless in thought. Such a mind does not wait for permission to dream. It takes ownership of learning. It treats education not as a burden, but as a privilege. Your generation carries immense responsibility. The future will demand innovation, integrity, and empathy. Degrees alone will not be enough. You will be judged by your ability to think clearly, act ethically, and serve selflessly. Prepare yourself not just to compete, but to contribute. In the next part, I will translate these ideas into practical habits you can begin today. Simple actions, realistic shifts, and daily practices that can slowly but surely transform your life. Stay connected. This is where intention becomes action. Now let us move from inspiration to application, because ideas alone do not change lives. It is daily practice that transforms character. I want you to understand that success is not built through dramatic gestures, but through small decisions repeated with honesty. You do not need to change your entire life in one day. You need to change the direction of your discipline. First, learn to respect time as you would respect a teacher. Time is not just hours and minutes. Time is life itself. When you waste time, you are not wasting a resource. You are wasting your future strength. Begin by structuring your day with intention. Fix a time for study, reflection, physical activity, and rest. Do not wait for perfect schedules. Create realistic routines and protect them fiercely. Second, cultivate habit of learning beyond classrooms. Education does not end with examination. Read books that expand your thinking. Observe people who live with integrity. Ask questions that make you uncomfortable. Learning sharpens the mind and humbles the ego. When you stop learning, growth silently dies. Third, train yourself to take responsibility without excuses. When something goes wrong, resist the urge to blame circumstances, teachers, parents, or luck. Ask yourself what you could have done better. This habit alone will set you apart from the majority. Responsibility builds inner strength. Excuses weaken it. Fourth, practice reflection daily. Spend a few minutes every night reviewing your day. Ask yourself whether your actions aligned with your values. Ask what you learned, where you improved, and where you fell short. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without reflection, even success teaches you nothing. Fifth, maintain simplicity in lifestyle and clarity in goals. Avoid unnecessary comparison. Someone else's success does not reduce your potential. Stay focused on your path. Simplicity reduces distraction, and focus accelerates progress. Sixth, build resilience through disciplined effort. There will be days when results disappoint you. Do not allow temporary outcomes to define permanent identity. Learn to separate effort from emotion. Continue working even when feelings fluctuate. This ability is what distinguishes achievers from dreamers. Seventh, surround yourself with positive influence. Your environment shapes your thinking more than you realize. Choose friends who encourage growth, not comfort. Choose conversations that inspire action, not complaints. If your environment cannot be changed, strengthen your inner discipline. Eighth, develop ethical courage. Do the right thing even when it is inconvenient. Success without ethics is a failure in disguise. Integrity builds trust, and trust creates long-term success. Let your character speak louder than your achievements. Finally, keep service at the center of your ambition. Ask yourself regularly how your knowledge, skills, and effort can benefit others. When your purpose includes society, your motivation gains depth and endurance. These practices may seem simple. That is their power. Complexity confuses, simplicity clarifies. The youth who master basic consistently will always outperform those who chase shortcuts. Now we are approaching the most important moment of our journey together. This is where thought turns into resolve. This is where you decide not just to listen, but to live differently. In the final part, I will speak to you about your responsibility as a young citizen, a dreamer, and a builder of the future. This is where emotion rises, not to excite you, but to awaken you. Stay with me. The future is waiting for your decision. Now I want you to look beyond yourself, beyond your marks, beyond your career plans, and even beyond your personal dreams. I want you to look at the nation you belong to and the future that is quietly waiting for your contribution. A country does not rise because of a few extraordinary individuals. A country rises when ordinary citizens decide to live with extraordinary responsibility. You are not just preparing for a job. You are preparing for a role in shaping society. Every honest student, every disciplined worker, every ethical professional strengthens the nation more than any slogan ever could. Future of India does not lie in its resources alone. It lies in the character, competence, and commitment of its youth. I have always believed that when young minds are ignited with purpose, no force can stop a nation from progressing. You carry within you the power to innovate, to solve problems, to uplift communities, and to lead with integrity. But power without responsibility becomes destructive. That is why self-discipline and values must guide your ambition. Do not ask what the nation will give you. Ask what kind of citizen you are becoming each day. Are you honest when no one is watching? Are you disciplined when no one is forcing you? Are you learning even when there is no immediate reward? These silent choices define your real strength. There will be moments in your life when giving up seems easier than going forward. In those moments, remember that your struggle is not meaningless. Your effort is shaping your inner strength, even when results are delayed. History remembers those who persisted quietly long before they were recognized loudly. I want you to feel proud of where you come from. Your roots are not limitations. They are sources of resilience. Carry them with humility, not shame. Let your journey inspire others who are still searching for courage. Believe deeply that you are needed. The world does not need copies. It needs committed individuals who are willing to learn, to work, and to serve with sincerity. Your ideas matter. Your effort matters. Your growth matters. When you wake up tomorrow, do not wait for motivation. Choose discipline. Do not wait for confidence. Choose action. Do not wait for approval. Choose integrity. If you live this way, success will follow you quietly, steadily, and meaningfully. Remember this always. Great dreams demand great responsibility. And when responsibility is carried with humility and discipline, success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. If this message awakened something within you, share it with another student who needs clarity. Let this thought travel from one young mind to another. Together, let us build a future guided by purpose, discipline, and service.